Hey there, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Questions always come up every single day by people or during the week. And people will message me or, make a comment. And when I ask questions of people when you're joining the free group that I have called Paralegal Break-In, which is it's only for people who have not worked in any capacity in the legal field, okay? When I ask those questions in order for you to join, there are very interesting answers to those, which really someone shares their heart as to why they think they're not getting hired, or they think that, or they have frustrations or worries or concerns. And that's always important to me as a teacher, as a mentor, that I know what those are. And most of them I've experienced myself, almost all of them. But I have to tell you, we're going to touch on a couple of those today. One is age. And many people are concerned with that. And the other one is skill sets, but especially Microsoft Word, okay? So people worry about the deficiencies. Who wouldn't? Going into any career. Like, am I going to really be up to snuff? Am I going to be up to what they expect? Am I going to be able to do the work? That's a huge concern. For anybody going into this field or any career, any job you start on day one, you're worried about that pretty much. But let's talk about the two that I'm going to focus on today. And you can, if you want to ask any questions, please do while we're talking about this topic. Okay. Hi, Felicia. Good to see you. Hey, I saw your comment the other day about the fact that you took steno in school. That's really cool. That, my dear, does come in handy in the legal field. Doesn't mean it's required or anything, but it absolutely can be a gift. It's not that attorneys expect that. It's kind of like, it's a gift for us. Okay, so let's talk about age. I don't hide the fact that I'm 67 years old. And I'm pushing 70 hard, baby. And you know what? I feel like 25. When I go on an interview, I don't dress like a dowdy old woman. I dress in a classic, I don't mean expensive, I mean a classic navy, charcoal gray, black outfit, okay? And usually it's a blazer, and I don't wear a dress usually. I wear slacks. You can wear a dress. And it's all kind of not black blouse, but I keep it subdued because I want them to see moi and listen to me, not look at earrings. I would not wear these in an interview. I would put studs in or something, or little tiny hoops or something that's nondescript. That it's not gonna, they're not gonna see me come and see my earrings coming through the door, or makeup that's way over the top, or I'm going to be mostly monochromatic except for this shirt I have on, and everything's subdued because I want them to see me, okay? That also doesn't, if I walked in and I had some type of pattern on that my grandmother wore, or even my great aunties, it would be out of place for my age. And it's not what I like. In my personal life, I like to dress in a bohemian way, because I'm from the hippie generation. But when I go into work, it's very conservative. So nobody is allowed to ask you your age, number one. That's against the rules. That's against the law. They're not allowed to ask you if you're married, but they will do things roundabout to find out what do you like to do on the weekend? And if you start saying, I like to be with my family and the kids and the hubby and all that stuff, well, they'll figure that out. But there's certain things they can't ask, okay? You can look that up on Google. That's good homework for you. But stop focusing on the age and instead focus on the skills, technical skills like Microsoft Word and even basic Excel. Don't be scared of Excel. I'm not an expert in Excel. I don't like Excel, but I learned basic just to get by. Most attorneys aren't requiring Excel. Most are not, but I like having it on my resume, and I know basic. PowerPoint, beginning PowerPoint, so easy to use. So, but Microsoft Word, you've got to be really quite good in. Don't just skid by. Don't be complacent. Don't be comfortable. Just push yourself. Push yourself. So the question I asked about how are your Microsoft Word skills, scroll down, you can see that. Lots of people answered that. And lots of people answered they needed improvement. So now's the time to do that. But age, let's get back to that. You're bringing a lot of incredible, valuable, positive traits to this field. And if you keep thinking that 45 is ancient, that even 58 is ancient, then you're going to get what you get. And that's a mindset issue. That's not people actually passing you by because you're of a certain age. It's because you haven't proven to the attorney and to the people whose job you're applying to that you can do the job. You have not proven that. Anybody who can prove that rises to the top of the stack of resumes and cover letters that they get. And they get well over 200. Well over 200 applicants. Is that discouraging to you? Then maybe you don't belong in this field. Because you have to push through in order to succeed in this. And yes, this is tough love. The moment you start saying, they're only hiring people with experience. There are no jobs for people who don't have experience. That's because you don't know how to search. They're only hiring people who are 25 to 30. No, they're not. I can attest to that right here. So the excuses have to go out the window. How will you be able to perform at a high level for the attorney in that area of law? Now you watch, I can tell right away when people are complacent, another word for lazy, when they don't watch my videos here and then they're asking questions that have been already answered. You can ask questions, but put the work in and watch videos. Go to the YouTube channel, Paralegal Career Mastermind, and look at those videos. Put the effort in and the work and start to write down the skills you already have and what you have to do to get better at something like Microsoft Word. The people that will not go forward in this career are the folks that let that type of stuff bog them, right? And this is what I call it, circling the drain. And that terminology is coming from a Marine reconnaissance officer who left the military and was trying to figure out where his place was in the civilian world. And so when you're transitioning into the paralegal career, these boulders and barriers appear to you, and it's your time to solve them. Solve that problem, because when you go to work for an attorney, you're going to be solving lots of problems. And this is good practice. So instead of circling the drain, get out of that whirlpool of mindless, negative thought and start pushing forward. Because the more you push, even today, promise yourself you're going to do one thing that's going to propel you forward, that's going to lift yourself up by learning. If Microsoft Word is bogging you down, take free classes right on YouTube. Somebody posted, I can't remember your name and I apologize, posted in that thread of, I asked, how are your Microsoft Word skills? You can just scroll down and see that. She posted a link to a free, to a college that has free Microsoft Word classes. You can find those, you can find the same thing on YouTube. So just get a look at videos that don't sound like a robot is talking. Find videos where a human is teaching you, okay? Those are your choices right now. That's what you're going to do, but you have to slowly, yes, and the negativity creeps in, but you have to slowly or quickly push forward to acquire the skills that are going to help the attorney, who, by the way, unless they're 25, 30 years old, they're not word experts, okay? Some of the attorneys who are my age and a little bit younger, oh, they're not computer experts. They rely on you for that. And most of them rely on you. The younger ones coming out of law school now are very technically oriented because they're the younger generation. They've grown up with the phone and all this stuff. And they're highly technical people, okay? And they may sit there typing stuff themselves and then ask you to format it. So the older attorneys who are my age, a little bit younger, they're not going to do that, you know? They may dictate and do a digital dictation file and you have to transcribe it. So paralegals do everything, you know? And you have to be willing to see a hill, take a hill. That's the attitude. It's, I'm going to do this no matter what. Yeah, you're never too old to change careers, Felicia. You're right. So I don't want, you know, I hear a lot of, I would say they're sorrowful comments to me, but you're totally able to get over those barriers, because I had to. And I know many of my colleagues had to. Everybody, now wrap your head around this, because we don't think this out thoroughly. Everybody that began their careers in the legal field, they start on level playing ground, and nobody had experience. Nobody. So when people say, well, Leslie, the only jobs out there are people with experience, well, right now you can't judge it by what's out there now. This is like weird times we're in. But even now, I went into the LA area and looked around, and I saw jobs opening up there. So that gives me hope for you all. And right now is the time to prepare. And nobody prepares and is 100% ready, but you've got to be able to help the attorney. And people sometimes don't listen to what I just said and think they're schooling. Some of you have heard me say this in almost every video. It's because people don't listen to what I am saying. They'll miss that. And they don't quite think it's true, but then they get in there and they realize. That's why I've had people who just get their first job and then they go take my course because they're freaking out, to be honest. So you have to be able to help the attorney on day one. Yeah. And while it may seem unfair that they don't offer training, they don't have the time. So don't let age stop you. The thing that if you say there are no jobs in my area, well, somebody said that to me and they were in Manhattan. That's my neck of the woods, where I am from. I grew up right across the river from New York City. So when somebody says to me, there's not an entry-level job or beginner job in all of New York City, that is quite ludicrous, because I could go right on and find several. So it's all in the searching when you're ready to look for jobs as jobs open up again, but it's in the preparation right now. It's a barrier in your own mind. It's a barrier in your own mind. Okay? oh, you're too old for this position. They'll be in deep trouble if they do. It's discrimination like that is not allowed. And yes, will there be one attorney out there who interviews you and feels you're too old? Possibly, but I'm gonna tell you, overall, it's what you bring to the table. What knowledge and skills are you bringing? That's a question to constantly ask yourself. Constantly, because you're building a career. You're not going into, if you think you're going into a 9-to-5 job, you are limiting yourself. Guys, anybody here with me right now, if you have any questions, don't be shy, be brave and ask them, okay? Because we can do a Q&A or just say hello, and maybe you're saying stuff and I don't see it because Facebook is weird that way, but I'll see it later. I wanted to cover that today because people who come into the paralegal break-in free group that have never worked in the legal field, those are the things that are concerning. Another person said that they didn't feel like they were ready, and that's after a 2-year degree program. And that's, I can tell you, you're not ready with the practical side of paralegalism. You're not, even after a certificate or 2-year degree. So, prepare. Look at many areas of law. Understand what a paralegal does in those areas. Go to Amazon, buy some books. If you're interested in workers' compensation law, then I would get Lynn DeVenny's book. She co-authored that with her attorney. She's a paralegal. And her last name is D-E-V-E-N-N-Y, I believe. But it's Lynn, L-Y-N-N-E, I think. And then DeVenny. Look that up. I believe I have it on my website as well, either under books or resources. I can't remember. But be sure I'm getting ready to do video 4 in a series that will have 7 videos in the Paralegal Hub. If you scroll down, you'll see Paralegal Free Goodies. And if you click on that link, it'll take you into a hub. You have to sign up, but there's a lot of stuff in there that you should take a look at, okay? Including what I think the paralegal career will look like after the pandemic is over. A couple videos about that. But this is video 4 that I'm going to record after I'm done here today, so that I can then upload it when I get home later. So, any concerns, questions, post them on this page or come over to the group, Paralegal Break-In, if you've never worked in the legal field. When you click you want to join, you have to answer the questions, okay? No, you don't have to give me your email address to do that. You can if you want to. That's totally a voluntary thing. But, and then participate in the group. Ask questions. Sometimes questions be sensitive, and that's the place, if you feel more comfortable, that you can ask questions like that, okay? All right, so have a great one today. Don't let those barriers, age is not a barrier in this field. And lack of experience is not a barrier, but lack of legal knowledge is. And you have to prepare yourself. Lack of technical knowledge, Microsoft Word, that will be a barrier if you're just trying to slide by and know less than basic. You cannot learn on the job. You don't have time regarding technical things. You know, it's very difficult to do that and then do your work. So learn all you can beforehand. All right. And then if you can, on the 15th, the Paralegal Inner Circle class launches, and you'll see the posting for that. I don't know if it's up now or it's coming up in a little bit, but you can go to the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and look for Paralegal Inner Circle class info, okay? All right, have a great one. Talk to you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Any questions, comments, again, post them,